flee. Xerxes, observing from his vantage point, reportedly praised her cunning, not realizing that she had attacked her own fleet in her effort to survive. As the day wore on, the Greek strategy continued to pay off. The Persians, exhausted and unable to regroup, began to retreat. Themistocles ordered his fleet to press the attack, chasing down the fleeing Persian ships and sinking as many as possible. By the end of the day, the waters of Salamis were filled with wreckage and the bodies of fallen sailors. The Persian navy, once the pride of Xerxes' empire, was in shambles. Aftermath and consequences. The Battle of Salamis was a decisive victory for the Greeks. Although the Persian Empire would continue to fight for another year, the loss of their navy at Salamis crippled their ability to supply their massive land army, forcing Xerxes to retreat back to Asia with much of his force. The remnants of the Persian army, left behind in Greece, would be defeated the following year at the Battle of Plataea, marking the end of the Persian invasion.
Made the United States determined to join the war against Japan and other fascist powers. This article will delve into the U.S. counterattack after this attack, the important strategies and campaigns, as well as their impact on the war in the Pacific. 1. Background after Pearl Harbor. 1.1. U.S. military situation. After the surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, the U.S. Navy faced heavy losses. The Pacific Fleet suffered great losses, with many warships sunk and planes destroyed. However, the determination of the American people and military created a strong spirit of resistance. They were ready to recover and attack again. 1.2. Assessing the situation in Japan. Japan, after its initial success, took further steps to consolidate its power in Asia. However, their strategy relied heavily on destroying the U.S. fleet and expanding their area of influence. This created an opportunity for the U.S. to counterattack and regain control of the region. 2. U.S. counterattack strategy. 2.1. Reorganizing the Navy. The U.S. quickly reorganized its Navy. Building and strengthening the Navy became a top priority. The Pacific Fleet began to be equipped with more aircraft carriers, submarines, and modern fighter planes. 2.2. Strengthening intelligence. An important lesson from Pearl Harbor was the importance of intelligence. The U.S. invested heavily in improving its intelligence system to monitor Japanese activities. The use of encryption and decryption was significantly improved. 2.3. Cooperation with allies. The U.S. also strengthened its relations with allies such as the UK, Australia, and other Asian countries. Military cooperation and intelligence sharing between countries helped improve its counterattack capabilities. 3. Notable counterattack campaigns. 3.1. Battle of Midway, June 1942. 3.1.1. Overview of the battle. The Battle of Midway was one of the decisive battles of the Pacific War. After receiving intelligence about Japan's planned attack, the United States prepared to counterattack. 3.1.2. Battle progress. The United States deployed 3 aircraft carriers, including the USS Enterprise, USS Hornet, and USS Yorktown. In a battle that lasted only a few days, the American fleet destroyed 4 Japanese aircraft carriers, marking an important turning point in the war. 3.2. Guadalcanal Campaign, August 1942. 3.2.1. Objectives of the campaign. The Guadalcanal Campaign aimed to seize a strategically important position in the Solomon Islands, facilitating attacks on Japanese bases in the area. 3.2.2. Development and outcome. The battle for Guadalcanal lasted from August 1942 to February 1943. The U.S. fought fiercely to gain control of the island and was ultimately successful, marking an important turning point in the war in the Pacific. 3.3. The Philippines Campaign, October 1944. 3.3.1. Background. After the victories at Guadalcanal, the U.S. continued to advance towards the Philippines to retake the lost areas. This battle was not only for military purposes, but also had great psychological significance. 3.3.2. Development of the battle. The U.S. launched a large-scale attack, using aircraft carriers and air power to attack Japanese forces. The battle was fierce, but the U.S. eventually recaptured the Philippines, creating favorable conditions for the following campaigns. 4. Consequences and impact. 4.1. Spirit and determination of the U.S. military. The successful counterattack increased the spirit and determination of the U.S. military. From the initial failures, they learned and developed, becoming stronger in each subsequent war. 4.2. Marking the turning point of the war. The U.S. counterattack not only created military victories, but also marked the turning point in the war in the Pacific. From here, Japan began to have difficulty maintaining power in the region. 4.3. Lasting legacy. The war in the Pacific was not only a military war, but also a psychological war. The success of the U.S. helped reshape the balance of world power and set the stage for future developments. 5. Conclusion. The U.S. counterattack after the attack on Pearl Harbor is not only an important chapter in military history, but also a valuable lesson in resilience, determination, and strategy. The successes in major battles demonstrated that despite being attacked by surprise, the U.S. quickly recovered and attacked back, creating decisive turning points in the war. Pearl Harbor was not only a tragic beginning, but also the driving force that pushed the U.S. to victory in World War II. Thank you for watching the whole video. If you find it interesting, please give me a like and subscribe to the channel.